Item reports. Printing or previewing item reports can be done via the items window. You can either click the print reports button here on the right and you get a list of categories of the reports that you want. You can also access the same list via the reports menu, and you will see those are the first three options in that menu. So we have the catalog, item data preparation, and item event materials. First, we're going to cover the item data preparation reports. The first report, which is the bid limits report, is a very useful report, and there's a couple of versions of this report. First, we're going to go ahead and click on all, and we're going to do a preview. Okay, so as you can see here, this will give us a list of all the items. It will show us the market value, the minimum bid, the increment, and it'll show us the first bid on the last bid on the first sheet and the last bid on the second sheet if you print 2 sheets per item. This report will also help you get an idea of what the potential for revenue is. So at the very end or the last few pages of the report, it will give you a breakdown per category, and it will also give you a grand total, which will tell you how much you would make if you sell all the items for the market value. In this case it's 34,841, or if you sell everything for the minimum bid, you will make 18,915. So you usually take the average between those two numbers, and that'll give you a pretty good estimate of how much you would make at your event. And based on that total, you can adjust the starting bids for the items so that you can reach your goals. There's also a breakdown per solicitor, so if you are assigning solicitors to items, it'll give you a breakdown of how much each solicitor brought in. Okay. Another useful version of the same report, so we go again to report, item data preparation, and bid limits. It's the NIT limits option. So if you click on NIT limits, and then you can click print or preview, it'll give you a list of items that have a value of 0 and that are still using the default bid limits. What that usually means is that these are items that either are priceless items that have not been assigned an overridden minimum bid, or they are items that you simply have not gotten a value for. So you can print this list to make sure that you remember all those items, and you can go back and either assign them a value, or you can override the minimum bid. So we're going to go to a couple of them, so 406 and 416. So we're going to go item 406, hit enter. That will take me to the item, and as you can see, the value per unit is 0. This is a priceless item, so you probably do not want to start this at 80. So what you most likely want to do in this case is write an overridden amount. So instead of $80, let's say we want to start this at 200, and we want to change the increments to 20. Okay, so that one's done. And next we will go to item 416, and this item also has a value per unit of 0, and it is not a priceless item, so we can go ahead and enter the actual value for this item, and let's say it's 300. And as you can see, that automatically changes the default bid limits using the formula, and instead of starting at 100, it's going to start at 120, and the rest is going to be $20. So of course, next time you generate or print the bid limits report using the NIT limits option, these two items that we just fixed are not going to show up on that list. Next, we have the category list with item counts. This is a very simple report that will list the categories, and it will tell you the count, number of items and the range of each category. We also have certificate items report, which will list all the items that have certificates, and you can do a list of only the ones that you have to create, or you can do a list of all the certificates. We also have an item list, which is item ID, title, and fair market value. We also have a report with item memos, so if you choose to include a memo information here in the data entry window, then you can later print a report that will list all those memos. We have item packages, so it will give you a list of all the items that are packages. In this case, we have no packaged items. And the last one is the proofreading report, which is useful if you want somebody else or several people to help you in proofreading the report or the item information. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. We can do a preview. The default is that they're going to be grouped by category, so we'll do that. You can select the ones that you want to include, so we're going to do all the items, select all, so they should all be selected. Click OK. So it'll have all the information about each of the items. So we have the item ID, the title, the classification. The C would be for certificate, T for tangible, or you can have an item that is both. You have donated the donor information, you have the description, you have the value of the item. So you can, once you've generated this report, you can save it, and you can either save it as an RTF, rich text format report, which you can open in Microsoft Word, or you can save it as a PDF. And once you save it as a file, you can of course attach that file to an email and send it to anybody who's going to help you proofread the items.